What's up guys, this is Dot, and welcome to another Haikyu Fly High video. In this one I just want to go over if you should put Oikawa on his rebanner now that we have him out for the next 2 weeks. First off, I want to go over his skills real quickly here, just for people who don't really know what he does specifically. So let's check his first skill out. Oikawa performs a set of 20% of his set stat. When your players land a critical spike, they gain 1 stack of attack tempo. Each stack increases your player's awareness by 1% up to 10 stacks. So this is pretty good, but it is very conditional because you need to land critical spikes, and these don't happen too often, as much as like a receive or like a set or something like that, right? And each stack only gives a 1%, so it's okay. But the main reason you want to be using this is for skill 3, which I'll cover in a bit. But the second skill, Oikawa performs on a blockable setter dunk with 150% of his set stat. While Oikawa is on the court, increase strength of power type players on your side by 20%. So that is also pretty good. I like the 20% strength buff, but it's only for power type players, so keep that in mind. In terms of the setter dunk, 115% and 145 at max is okay. Ideally, you probably want to be using spikes anyways. This can, I guess, help kind of break through a block. Maybe if you get like a bad or normal receive or something like that, and you're scared to get a bad set, you can use this instead, so that you can ignore the block. There might, most likely, if it's like a normal receive on your side, the opponent will most likely be able to receive this setter dunk, but then that's when you prep for a block ultimate or something like that as well. So yeah, there's an okay option, but at the same time you're probably going to want him in the back row because you want him serving, because that's his ult anyway. So keep that in mind. Third skill, so when Oikawa is on the court, increase your player's awareness by 10%. When a power spike is cast, consume 6 stacks of attack tempo to guarantee a critical spike. So this 10% is I would say on the low side, but you do get an extra 1% for every attack tempo stack that you guys gain on your team, up to 10 stacks. So you can get up to 20%, but it doesn't last you, the whole match. Most because of the other part of the skill here. Consume 6 stacks of attack tempo to guarantee a critical spike. So he uses 6 stacks, guarantees a crit for your next spike. So that awareness increase does go back down to the 10%, or if you have more than 6 stacks, then it would go to 14% or whatever it is, whatever stacks you're at. And then his ultimate, Great King's Jump Serve. Oikawa performs a power jump serve with 260% of his serve stat. For this serve, his awareness increases by 20% and strength increases by 20%. So for him, this is a great buff, a great ultimate, right? I'm sure you've seen it by now, how strong Oikawa's serve is in the game, in the anime. So in having this 20% awareness and 20% increase, a strength increase, plus the 20% strength here, and then the 10% of this one of awareness, plus your attack tempo if you're able to get any. That is huge buffs, specifically for him and on this serve. So a lot of people, people use him for the serve mostly, and that's still a viable option for him as well. And next is skill resonances. Skill resonance 2 here. Oikawa's serve stat increases by 18%, and when attack tempo is consumed, power attack stat of your players increases by 5%, up to 5 stacks. So I think this is okay. I don't think this is an amazing upgrade, but it's just okay. I would say if this was a set stat increase instead of serve, this would be way better. But because it's only serve, it's just whatever. In terms of the second part here, when attack tempo is consumed, power attack stat of your players increases by 5% per stack, up to 5 stacks, so 25% at max stacks. And it really depends on how many times you can get this attack tempo consumed trigger to actually trigger, right? And the thing is, it increases your power attack stat of players, so it doesn't really increase like the power of your power attack serves or whatever. Power attack spikes, just the stat. And the stat is put into that calculation for your spike score, right? So it makes a difference, but it's not, I would say, too much of a difference in terms of the increase. So again, I think this is okay. If you are using him mostly as a server, then if you're really buffing his serve, then this, I guess, could be worth it. But if you do want him as a setter, he doesn't really have anything to help him set in this kind of resonance. Skill resonance 4. When Oikawa serves, increases awareness by 50% and strength by 50% for players on your side, lasting 3 net crossings. If your side scores within 2 net crossings after Oikawa serves, the cooldown of his ultimate jump serve resets. I think this one is a way better option if you were to go for skill resonances. The 15% awareness and strength is very strong. I think it's a pretty good increase. It only lasts for 3 net crossings though, so it's only going to be during his serve. And then obviously once you get the ball back, if the ball comes back over to your side, you have another one more play before this runs out. So you can get a good serve and maybe a good spike, a critical spike with a 50% increase of awareness and strength. Going for your team within right after he serves, so that's pretty good. Again, it's situational because of the 3 net crossings, but you do have the cooldown reset, and cooldown resets are always a good thing, in my opinion. If you can get the service ace, or if you get like the block off of his serve, that's when that trigger will happen. So this is more worth it if you were to go for Oikawa dupes. If you can get the skill res 4, that would be a really, really big upgrade for him in terms of his gameplay mechanic as well, because he can do back-to-back ultimates. So to answer the question, should you pull Oikawa on his rebanner? The answer I'm gonna come up with is gonna be similar to a lot of my opinions, which is it depends on your team. But first of all, I want to say, if Oikawa is your favorite character and you want to play him, then do it. Like, he's one of the best setters in the game, at least at this point in the game. You don't have the next version of it, the SP version, won't come out for a couple months, or maybe like half a year, maybe, if we are following the schedule. But I don't think that should limit you to whether or not you should like save or pull if Oikawa is your favorite character. Okay. On the other hand, again, like I said, it depends on your team. So, and it also depends on who you want to go for. Right now, we have Sakusa's banner running at the same time as Oikawa, and then we have Komori coming up after Sakusa. So these two right here, let me bring them up, you've heard it before, they're one of the best duos in the game, and Oikawa is unfortunately in the middle of their banners. So if you have the resources and you're missing Oikawa and you need him, of course, just pull all 3. So you can do that. Another situation, obviously, is if you have like Ushijima. Ushijima's like Oikawa's best partner is Ushijima, right? You want to have them together if you can. If you don't have Oikawa, you can run like an Akashi. Akashi would be fine, especially if you have like Bokuto, right, as the other wing spiker. That's fine. you don't have to pull Oikawa here, right? Especially if you're trying to get like Sakusa and Komori, or even just Komori, right? Komori would be a better upgrade for a lot more teams than Oikawa will be for just a setter upgrade. So my opinion, he can be a skip if you want to go for the Tachiyama duo, right? If you can only manage to get one of these duos, like I keep saying, it's Komori is like the more of the priority. If you want Sakusa for, you know, to upgrade your wing spiker, that's fine as well. Either one is fine. You do want to try to get both of them, maybe get one of them on the rebanner. But yeah, so in terms of Oikawa, there are different types of situations, I would say, where you can pick him up. First of all, you're missing him, and then you have any of these characters here. Let me throw in Mad Dog as well. If you have Iwaizumi, and let's say you have him pretty duped up and you're using him as one of your main wing spikers, you don't have Oikawa, that's an easy pull. You should get him, right? Especially if, you know, if you heard Iwaizumi is, you know, at least six dupes, skill res 4, for example, and then you're debating if you should get Sakusa instead. Sakusa URs usually at 0 dupe. I don't know if I could attest to, yeah, I would say even SPs as well. At 0 dupe, probably is arguably as strong as like a maxed out SR, right? So especially with the SSR bond as well, that's what I would say. So if you have Iwaizumi, don't have Oikawa, that could be a situation where you want to pull Oikawa. Same thing with, like I said, with Ushijima. If you have Ushijima, and then you have like a Bokuto or something, and you have Iwaizumi, you don't need another wing spiker. You can pick up Sakusa, right? So maybe you can only pick up 2 of the 3. You can pick up Komori and Oikawa, skip Sakusa for later, because you already have another wing spiker here, right? Maybe this is Korai, for example. That's fine. If you don't have Ushijima, Mad Dog could be here, right? That's also fine. And if you need Oikawa for that, then yep, that works. If you don't have Oikawa, right? Let's say you picked up Atsumo, and your team is like, you know, a power team. I still wouldn't recommend pulling Oikawa because you already have the UI setter. And if in this case, right, where you have something like Iwaizumi, let's say this is an Iwaizumi SSR, it might be better to go for Sakusa here, right? Because if you can get Sakusa and Komori, this bond right here is stronger than even if this wasn't a power setter. So even if you have Atsuma here, though the synergy is not going to be fully there, this bond specifically right here is already going to be really great in terms of what they can bring to the team. So I think if you have the resources, if you don't want to pull into any resources in pulling Oikawa, and you already have a UR setter, right? You can also think about UR Kageyama coming out later as well. Yeah, I don't think he's a must pull for any reason at this point in the game. If you do want him, you can pull for him. That is, I think, my main takeaway from this. He will, you know, benefit a lot of teams, especially the power teams, for a while, until, you know, maybe SP Kashi comes out with the other two, these two, right? So Oikawa will be in a pretty good position until like this comes out. Again, this is maybe like a couple months from now, maybe 2-3 months, maybe. So if you're not planning on getting these guys and you need to make a power team because you have someone like Ushijima and you have like Korai, maybe you still have maybe you got Sakusa as well, whatever it is, you can put Oikawa here, and that will last you for a while, especially because he's the only other type power setter other than Akashi here, and Akashi really works better with Bokuto for the most part. And then you have SP Oikawa coming out. I don't know, that this just came out in Japan, so this will be out for maybe even another half a year. So if you really want to play Oikawa, you can get the UR. You'll still have so much time to save for the SP1 later on, and still be fine. So yeah, those are my main thoughts. I personally will not be pulling. I have him for picked him up early for the early game, but I transitioned to a different team. I'm running the Twins now, so I don't really need any more Oikawa dupes or anything like that. Like I mentioned before, if you are planning on duping him, I do think SR2 is not worth it. SR4 is more worth it if you can get there. But if you do want to make your Oikawa stronger, then by all means, feel free to go for it for the dupes. However, I think getting the Itachiyama duo is a lot more of a priority rather than picking up Oikawa at this point in the game. All right, the last thing I want to go over is Oikawa's memory. See if you would want to make a decision to pull for this memory on the rebanner if you don't have it yet. What the memory does is increases serve stat by 12%. When the equipper performs a critical serve, the equipper gains 2 stacks of attack tempo. We know what the attack tempo does. If this serve scores, then they gain additional 4 stacks of attack tempo. When the equipper is on the court, when your side's attack tempo reaches 6 stacks, your player's strength and spirit increase by 2% up to 3 stacks. So every time you reach 6 stacks, right? So you're gonna have to consume it and then get to 6 stacks again, and that goes up to 3 times. Do that 3 times, and you get a 6% increase in strength and spirit. Not bad. Could definitely be better. It's still in single digits, so I don't think it's that great, but it is a buff, so I'll give him that. But the main thing in this memory is that you gain 2 stacks of attack tempo whenever you crit serve, and then another 4 stacks if that serve gains a point. So if you score with service ace, for example, you get an extra 4 stacks. So that gives you the 4 plus 2, which is 6 stacks, and then 6 stacks are ready to be consumed whenever you do your next spike, and then that spike will automatically be a critical. So I think that's the best, it's the main effect, I guess, for this memory. And then obviously you have the equipper serve stack increases by 12%. Again, this is all about serving, which is okay because that's what he wants to do. But he doesn't, none of his skills really go, increase his set or anything like that. So you don't really, the game doesn't really want you to play him as a main setter. It's more like a main server that can set. So that's kind of what it seems like to me. In terms of if you should pull it, I think it's fine if you want to go for it. I don't think it's mandatory at this point in the game for him, unless again you are going to be using him for the rest until like SP Oikawa comes out, right? So if you're gonna plan on using him for a long time, then yes, this is worth picking up. Ideally though, you might want to prioritize like a Komori's memory, for example, if you can get that. But in terms of alternatives, you can definitely use, in terms of SSRs, you have Akashi, which is always a generic setter memory that you can use. Increases set stat by 6%, restores stamina, which is great, and then attack technique for 8%. But this is only in Team Morale Awakening, so keep that in mind. But again, this is a very generic memory that pretty much all setters can use. And then the other alternative is obviously his own practice one. Increases stat by 10%. First time you reach 10, exceeds 10 attack tempo stats. Additionally increases stat by 10% for 1 set. Each stack of attack tempo increases the awareness by 1%. So yeah, I think this is fine in my opinion. If you don't have these two and you only have like SRs, this would be a worthwhile increase for sure. But if you don't, I mean, you could maybe use this one, the Kageyama one, because it does increase the surge stat by 6%, but it doesn't, it's only going to increase an additional 10% if it's quick attack, so that doesn't really affect Oikawa. But yeah, this is fine. The other one you could use is probably Sugawaras, because this also has a serve condition. When equipper serves, increase your side's back row play's reflex by 2.4% between that crossing. So those are serve based. These two here are serve based. But other than that, I don't think any other one is worth it other than his. And if you have like Akashi or his practice one. All right, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys found this one useful. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are planning on pulling Oikawa, or if you're skipping him. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to comment down below as well if you need help deciding if you want to pull Oikawa. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. I hope you find this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.